Taylor-Canfield, and this is my experiment in podcasting. I hope you enjoy. This is MTC's podcast, Living It Up in Seattle, Part 1.
Oh, that was classic. I'm at Cal Anderson Park, and there was a dude walking by singing "Break On Through to the Other Side." Jim Morrison at the top of his lungs, obviously really high on something. That's so classic. Anyway, this is Mark Taylor-Canfield in Seattle, Washington. That's right, the other Washington, the one that doesn't smell so bad. And we are out for Artwalk tonight, but man, I got crammed and blockaded and resisted by the traffic. The traffic situation in Seattle is really bad. It's like one of the worst in the country. So I was trying to get up Denny Avenue, named after one of the fathers of this great city, Arthur Denny, and I could barely get up there because people in Seattle are very strange. They just keep blocking intersections. They're terrible drivers, and then they block the intersection so you can't get anywhere. So it took forever. But right now I'm at the Blue Cone Studios. Now, should I go here? Ooh, that would be cool, but I should wait for Krista. But at least in Seattle, even though the traffic sucks and we got totally blockaded, at least, and it doesn't matter. And I noticed when I was in the park that I was like the only person in the park. So what's that about? Or not the only person in the park, but the only person on that path. So I was, I felt, a lot of solitude. Now, I'm at the Barca right now, and there's nobody in here. Where is everyone? They must be out for Artwalk, because there's like one person at the bar. Like, literally, this is a big bar. I think later they'll have jazz. Yep, at 9. But it's early in the evening, so nobody's shown up here yet. But I'm glad I saw that, because that will remind me that I can go there after we check out some of the galleries. So we got the Vermilion, which is a great bar and gallery. I love the woman who runs that place too. It's art. It's an art bar. It's awesome. There was actually a bar called the Art Bar in Seattle when I first moved here, or first started visiting here, and it was in downtown. That was Dana's place. She looked like Marilyn Monroe. Like totally bleached blonde hair. And art all over the walls. She even had a contest to have artists paint the floor. They had art hanging in the bathrooms, in the men's and women's bathrooms, that was for sale. So if you wanted to check it out, even, and that was before the non-gender bathrooms, right? In Seattle, which is a tradition now, but back then, you had men and women. And I know that's really hard for people, the conservative types, to understand that you can have unisex bathrooms and it doesn't bother people, but sorry, that's just the way it is, okay? When you're using the bathroom, you mind your own business. But here's the thing. Dana used to have art hanging at the art bar in the bathroom. So if you wanted to check out the art, she would take you into the bathrooms. And so maybe, she'd take me, a man, into the women's bathroom, and there would be women in there doing their business, and they didn't mind at all. They're like, hey, how's it going? And she would show me the art. Same thing, if there were women that wanted to see the art in the men's bathroom, you could go in there and check it out, and nobody would say anything. It's just part of Seattle culture that, gender is not a big issue. You can be completely asexual and not have any interest in sexual orientation at all, and that's also cool. So, say what you will about this city, the Emerald City, but that is the truth. That is one of the issues here, is that gender is not a big issue. So whether you're gay, straight, non-sexual, whatever, religious, non-religious, secularist, you're allowed to have your own point of view. Now, don't expect, thousands of people to jump on your bandwagon, because that doesn't happen here, right? Very seldom. And if it does, then people don't like you because now you're famous, or you're rich, or you're well-known, you're too big for your britches, so then people don't trust you, which there's some reason for that, right? In journalism and the music industry, there's definitely some reason for that. Although you hope that the best rise to the top and succeed. Now, my phone is wet because I've been in the rain in Seattle, which is so typical throughout most of the year, actually, where you have gray skies day after day after day after day. Believe me, if you're from Southern California or Hawaii, you probably don't want to live here. You'll never get used to the fact that you just don't get much sunlight. But if you're an inward, dark, bohemian industrial goth chick and vampire, then it's the place for you. Because you'll have plenty of time to be moody and no one will care because they're all moody too. Yeah, everybody. Give me a break. Unless you can get out of here for a while and hit up the Hawaiian Islands and go to Kauai and hang out on the beach with your friends for a while and smoke amazing Kona bud or whatever, then you're stuck here and it's kind of miserable. I mean, the weather is not like Buffalo, New York, where you freeze your ass off, or, you know, the northern Midwest where you get 8 feet of snow. I know I'm exaggerating a little bit there, but although my mother used to live in Michigan, and she said that there was a time when they had to tunnel their way out of the house through the snow. But that's not Seattle. Seattle is wet. And if it gets cold, it's probably in the 40s, right? That's typical for this time of year. It's in the 40s. It's not super cold. It's not freezing. The Canadian geese don't fly away. Oh, there's naked body painting going on in the window right now at the Vermilion. Well, that's also part of Seattle. But, yeah, the Canadian geese stay here. They don't even leave in the winter. But it's wet. And it's that wet cold that can kind of drive you crazy after a while. So anyway, I'm going to go in here to the Vermilion and play their baby grand piano because it's so beautiful. And while there's some naked painting going on. This is Mark Taylor-Canfield. There's a beautiful girl on stage being painted who's naked. Oh, that was classic. I like that music. All right. That was cool. But anyway, I'm breaking all the rules as far as YouTube and channels are concerned, as far as like I'm not focusing on one thing, right? It's more of a network. And then there's also the whole thing about the music and how to get that out there, you know. I mean, so I got Reverb Nation, I guess, right? It's whatever. And Spotify. And that's what is available to me. It's that kind of a world. So, you know, and I got the licensing and publishing stuff to figure out. So that really I need to do like immediately. Like, so Wednesdays are music days. So maybe on Wednesday I should just do that. Yeah, maybe on Wednesday I can work on that. I don't know if I have any songs in the can at the moment, except for the one I just sang. And What else? Writing stuff. Well, I've been thinking about writing something for Truth Out. I mean, unless it's already kind of written through some kind of a dialogue I've had or presentation I've given, I don't know. I'd rather work on my book. I mean, why am I not working on my book today? It's a good question. Why? Because I have several things in the hopper, including, I believe, a Jeff Santos Show, which really, I mean, this stuff should be easy, quick production. It's just audio and some slides for YouTube. No big deal, right? And then I go on to Facebook and all the other social media networks I'm involved with, daily Twitter and Facebook, to tell you the truth. And reaching the people who are interested in what I'm doing. So here you go, like, hard to say sometimes. But any of the other social networking, no, I could try Instagram because I haven't really done much of that before. But I don't know, it kind of bores me. Like, I'm not really into it that much. Yeah. Mostly for photos, I think. But I could try that. That's one thing I haven't tried. There's paid promotions, which, man, I don't really want to even get into. But there is that. There's also increasing the professional quality of what I'm doing, which means there were two ideas. One was the set, which within a text or something. I mean, a set would be like a background, maybe. Well, I'm coming up on like Google Spheres. Here we go. That's the finally open. Can I get a tour? I haven't tried it. Good. There it is. There's the sphere. The spheres. I mean, they're cool, definitely, but looks like something from a sci-fi film. You know, and they're not quite buckyballs. They look more like something Roger Penrose would have come up with. Like, not quite exactly symmetrical. Different form of symmetry.
And they're totally cool with that. They're like, yeah, we're redesigning Seattle. And the people that were on the city council and city hall when we proposed this are all for it. So they consider that a public kind of partnership. But yeah, they're kind of ready for that.
is Mark Taylor-Canfield, and I'm a journalist and a musician and an actor. I've done a lot of things, but I haven't ever concentrated so much on podcasts, and I decided I wanted to come up with something that was a little bit more of a soundscape, sound art type of presentation, because I do have a background as a composer as well, and was a resident composer at the University of Washington's School of Music Computer Music Center at one point, studying under Professor Richard Carpin. And I have traveled in France. I was invited to the International Institute for Electroacoustic Music in Bourges, France, where I participated in a festival where my music was presented. I've studied musique concrète in France, which is a particular kind of sound collage sort of art form, sound art, that I like a lot. I've also been involved in some field recording projects, including one of the CDs from the phonographers in the Northwestern United States. And so I wanted to present something that was a little bit more than just me talking on a microphone. And so this is my own original music, actually, that's mixed into this, and I just recorded myself sort of wandering around Seattle. A lot of people around the country are interested in Seattle. A lot of folks are globally around the world are interested in Seattle. A lot of folks are moving to Seattle from all over the world. And so there's an interest out there in what it's like, what's the lifestyle like. And of course the Emerald City, as we refer to it, yes, like the Wizard of Oz, and there are some wizards behind the curtain, I'm sure, probably billionaires. This city has a mystique about it because of its so-called free-thinking, open progressive attitude about a lot of things. So, yes, there are a lot of artists and musicians who live here, and traditionally have lived here. There's a strong connection with Native American culture, and with also the hippie counterculture, the psychedelic culture that much of which came north from San Francisco during the late 60s and early 70s, but definitely influenced the culture in the northwestern United States and in Seattle, in Portland, Olympia, Bellingham, the Evergreen State College, places like that. A lot of hippies actually moved to the Northwest to start communes or utopian communities or organic farms or whatever. And so that culture has definitely influenced this free-thinking sort of attitude about freedom in the Northwest. So that's part of the context of this podcast. It's also a tech-heavy area of the country, of course, like sort of the new Silicon Valley. You've got Amazon's headquarters here, and Google is here, and of course Microsoft has been here forever in Redmond. And in Seattle, you've got Boeing, which does a lot of highly technical work in aerospace industries, and a lot of other companies that are high-tech here, a lot of biomed companies as well. So highly educated, but now becoming more and more expensive to live here, unfortunately. And becoming a little bit more of an international city with so many, engineers and software technicians and doctors and attorneys and things moving from all over the rest of the world here. So that's what you get in Seattle, folks. And this is my attempt, Mark Taylor-Canfield, reporting from Seattle, where I happen to live. This is my report about what it's like to be here, and it's one in a series of experiments. So I hope you enjoy. This is Mark Taylor-Canfield reporting from Seattle. And by the way, for folks who don't know me, I've written at Huffington Post. I have a blog at Daily Kos. I'm a regular guest on the Jeff Santos Show, broadcasting out of Boston. And I have a column at the Capitol Hill Times. But there's a lot of ways you can check out my stuff. Best way is probably to go to my YouTube channel, where we have over 360 original videos uploaded. And you can also check me out on Twitter and other social media networks. But I hope you enjoy. This is MTC's podcast, Living It Up in Seattle, Part 1.